We all as people have goals in life. A job, personal growth, you name it, we want it. Well, at least I hope you do. But car people have a horrible habit of doing one thing. And that is taking a car that is nowhere near complete, whether it's a project or something along those lines, and trying to make it to a car event in the immediate future. Usually doing 48-hour stints or something. And this is the story of trying to rebuild my Coyote 240 SX in a week and a half. And trying to repair every single terrible and dangerous thing that previous shops did to this car while I was naive and too trustful. I mean, look at these incredible welds, bro. In this video, you'll see this car transform from an absolute mess to dressed to impress and see me stressed. Oh man, that was lame.
This guy stinks!
And also, of course, the cost of pulling way too many all-nighters. So it was time to bring it to my buddy Alan, who I trusted to help me basically restart this project. So the first thing we did was to remove the subframe and replace the bushings. These bushings were old and needed to be replaced. Well, obviously, it's a 240. Guys, before we get this video started, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It really helps me in the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's get to it in this very, very long episode.
Everything is okay. I got it under control.
Now introducing subframe service with Alan and David.
Hi, I'm Alan. You ever get them pesky subframe bushings that just don't want to come out?
Just toast them up, bro.
To the Benzomatic 5000. This bad boy right here, get them out. It'll burn your toast. It'll burn your subframe bushings. It'll burn your skin. Burn whatever the hell you want it to burn.
So Alan, I'm guessing this is the most efficient way to get rid of bushings.
Yeah, there's a few different ways. A lot of people, I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff. So some people use a drill bit and they'll walk it around the cup and they'll pop it out and then use a wire wheel. But to me, the most fun way
to do bushings,
an efficient way, if you have the facility to do it, is just torch them out. And plus the rubber gets super brittle, so all you have to do is go in with like a 3-inch wire wheel brush and just clean the barrel out real good. Yeah, it could smell a little better, you know.
So undramatic. I was expecting like a really big hit, and you're just like tap, tap, tap.
The trick is to get her nice and hot.
A little toasty there.
A little toasty.
How I feel when I look at that car.
Sorry, the trick is you gotta wear it down. We're gonna remove the old fuel lines. We're gonna replace them with stainless steel lines all the way from front to back. We're also gonna relocate them in an area that allows them to not be so vulnerable. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this here cap. We're gonna plumb this bad boy back into the intake.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I'm renaming the shop Fixing Every Other Shop's LLC. DBA as Your Other Shop Sucks. So today, guys, we are trying to figure out a place to mount the Ford Performance Power Pack fuse box. It's nice and compact. We're gonna try to find a good spot for it to where it's not gonna get kicked, soaked with water, or potentially falling down and causing a fire. Nobody wants that. I'm just saying, if your wife tells you your Nissan is garbage, just don't listen to her. Just keep it and just let it love you. It loves you, I promise. It's like,
Alan, what do you think about my sick 1JZ muffler setup?
that's real sick, David.
Alan, I love how minty fresh the transmission came out.
It's pretty sick when you give a shit in it.
We also got big brakes from K-Sport that finally showed up, along with Koenig Hyperchrome wheels. And we're done. Moment of truth. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
We clear.
Yes. Next, the headers are extremely close and create a ton of heat. So once my engine bay had been completely repainted, we decided to add extra protection to try and cool things down a bit. And also, you know, so my shoes didn't melt. Hey, Alan, you know, it's really cool.
What's that?
Import Alliance is coming up.
Yeah. T-minus
What?
6 days.
Is it really 6 days?
It's the 26th, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's next weekend.
Oh, my God.
Next crunch time.
That's an understatement. This is so I don't melt in the car.
Yeah. We're going to throw it on there with the expectation that that's what happens.
We then decided to relocate the engine altogether due to the engine mounts apparently didn't like the spot the motor was before. The only problem is that this meant I needed to get the drive shaft modified due to the new motor positioning. We'll just bring it to the car meet with the blanket over. Don't look at it.
Guess what motor this is, bro?
We're just delusional at this point. Earlier, I said 2 words. I said, import Alliance, and Alan just screamed at the top of his lungs.
Ta-da!
Ah, it's in there. We're towing it.
A little more clearance here, Captain.
Okay. What's the plan?
Well. But some Clarence would be great.
Who's Clarence?
Clarence.
Clarence has graduated high school.
Good
And
old
he's
Clarence.
going on to college.
Good old Clarence.
AKA Mad Skids.
The subframe's slightly modified.
Not much though.
No. Transmission mount has got to go up.
Got the motor in.
Yep, we got the motor in, got the booster fitment kinda decent. Still got to play with modifying the transmission brace to
Yeah.
basically tilt the back of the motor forward to gain us a little bit more clearance flying the head to the booster.
That's pretty much the biggest clearance issue with this swap is the booster.
Yeah.
It seems to be the biggest thing.
This kind of being a multi-purpose kind of street/drift car, we want to be able to have that vacuum there if necessary to stop immediately.
Especially on track.
Especially on track. Other than that, now that the motor's in, obviously the hard part's done. So now it's just going to be, you know, getting all the fuel lines and stuff ran to it. We're talking about modifying the engine harness because the factory drops it, unfortunately, right in front of the motor. Me personally, I think that's kind of ugly. So we're going to cut it back and put it into the firewall or inside of the car so it's not exposed into here. Even though it's a waterproof box, I just think visually it'll be a lot more appealing. E-minus, what is it? It's 12 o'clock on a Sunday.
IA.
Yeah, starting
we probably
again on
would
it
need
tomorrow.
it there by Friday night.
Yeah, starting again on it tomorrow at 8. So tomorrow's Monday, and then IA's that Saturday. So 5 days.
I think we'll make it.
Yeah.
Probably not. To be fair, this was Alan's idea to
Yeah,
try for
We're
it.
definitely going to give it a shot. I think every project moves a lot better with a deadline.
Yeah, because
So-
even if you don't make it, you make so much progress,
Exactly.
right? So it's the morning, still in the same hoodie, as you can see. That's how you know you're going through it. Today I'm going to the paint shop to get my side skirt repainted and also get my 326 wing painted for the car because a wingless coupe looks cool, but at the same time, it's like so much of a brick. I feel like it just needs something. But guess what? With the true David luck, the one guy at the Driveshaft place is on vacation. That would be the one to fix it. So that's great news for this weekend. My side skirt from a previous shop had been split in half because they put it on the lift wrong. Thankfully, I got the fiberglass repaired and then headed over to my buddy Chris, who was willing to help me repaint it last minute, along with my 326 wing that I had decided to put on the car. Mr. Chris, once again, in SSR, cleaning up the side skirt. We've been here before, aren't you excited?
Hey, this is the second time around spraying this one.
Alan's very excited about the wing.
Yeah, that looks really good. That's exactly what it was missing the whole time.
It was just too much of a brick. You know, just like a rolling square down the road.
Big Lego.
Your big Lego. I was holding that wing for a while off camera, but we made a little template. What'd you say, Alan?
David, he's drilling holes in the trunk and didn't test fit the wing yet. What are you doing?
Hey, Alan, did you know that I've been a mechanic for 657 years and what you did was wrong?
I know.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Time to go get the drive shaft and also go get a whole bunch of stuff for the fuel system and race car parts that we need. We just need a bunch of fittings and stuff like that that you don't think about when it comes to this stuff. So got about a 25-minute drive to the drive shaft and then another 40 minutes to grab the other fuel system stuff and then on our way back. I am tired, if you cannot tell. Didn't get any sleep last night because my dog was freaking yapping the whole time. But other than that, it's Wednesday. We got 2 more days. Race car parts, got him in. Put the drive shaft in the shop. Get this to Alan. Once I got back, I couldn't hang out at the shop anymore at the moment due to I had to be a YouTuber and edit videos in the meantime. I'm running around like crazy today. Just got back from the road trip. Now while Alan is doing all that, I learned on the way back on the road trip that one of my sponsorship integrations that needed approval got disapproved. So now I got to re-edit that entire thing, then edit probably 2 videos after that, then go back to the coupe and film some more of the coupe. Working on it. Finally, after a lot of progress on my video that needed to be released that day, I went back to check in on Alan.
I'm trying to find Clarence. Have you seen him?
How's it going, Alan?
It's going. Putting this push lock line with a push lock -6 on the top of the factory sitting unit. This will basically prevent us from having to run worm clamps on stainless steel hose. Do not attach stainless steel hose to your factory fuel line and put a 25-cent pressure clamp around it. This one comes off, look. Absolutely no.
On a lighter note, the drive shaft fits. That's one less thing to stress about. My friend Cole from Mountain Man Fabrications came over to help me fit my new fan system, which was actually borrowed from a Ford Taurus or Ford Contour. Believe it or not, these fans are absolute beasts and their shroud is really great as well. Did you just... There's no way that just happened, dude.
David, my bit broke.
If I recall that first phone call, Alan, dude, what was the quote again? Please, let me do it.
Yeah, David, that sounds like a great idea. I want to do it. Your little ponytail of wire there.
Mechanic.
Alan, how are you feeling? It's Thursday.
I want people to understand. Do you have your phone? It's Thursday, 6/27. 1.5 more days.
Breathe.
And the body harness is still sitting on the floor in a rat's
crazy
nest of a disaster. But the car looks pretty.
That's good.
He's like, the car looks pretty. Yeah, it's
We're
so
good.
pretty.
But we're unwrapping these Street Faction door cards, which are super pretty.
Well, David, that guy should really be careful unwrapping your door panels. He just doesn't look like he cares.
Alright, she's unwrapped. I work here. It's my second day.
Guess you can say it's an evolving development.
So evolved that we decided to go to the left side of the tunnel and not the right.
You told the one female to help clean the freaking shop.
Tisk tisk. And here I am listening.
I just asked if you get a
one eye
minute.
open, bro.
You got a
I
minute.
know your coordinates.
I was just saying, if you had a quick second that was available, you could just tidy up the place a little bit.
All right, pretend seat. So if I'm sitting right here, but honestly, I think we're either right there or close. Especially if I'm up here, you have that leverage.
Your booster seat?
Yeah,
Okay.
the booster seat. That's right.
Booster seat.
Loud and proud. Booster seats. So Sparco Sprint seats going in. They're fixed back. Really simple.
Fixed back, low mount, seat rails from Sparco. I was about to say chair.
So we're gonna put those in and test fit them and then bolt them in.
Yep.
Because we're just not gonna do sliding. This was the moment in time I started to realize in my career that I wasn't Superman and I can't do everything by myself. The cracks were starting to show. And honestly, I was starting to get heart palpitations. I was starting to get so stressed about this, which in hindsight seems really silly. I'm tired. I'm really tired right now and a little sick. But at the time I had like 4 or 5 sponsor integrations due that have to get approved. Then at the same time I needed to put out all those videos, edit all those videos, while also trying to help Alan with the car, while also trying to make it to Import Alliance and try to get the car in a booth, while trying to make sure the car was safe. It was just overwhelming at the time. And I put myself through stress that I really didn't need to do.
I'm Alan. Just here to let you know. Don't let idiots like this wire your car. This is awful. This is a fire. Protect your investment the right way by not letting people do this to your car. This is a body harness. Could you imagine? It's also new. This'll do. What this fuse box? Words accessible. Stress by setting this outside for now, and we're just gonna focus on harness right now. Just for at least until we get everything mounted. What is this? What is going on here? What is this? Who does this?
Danger Dan, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm at a drift event. Like,
What do you think about Import Alliance?
I think I haven't really seen Import Alliance. I've been on this side, so I'm not really the car show kind of guy.
The reason I put you on the spot right now is because I tried to finish my drift car and it didn't make it here. So what do you think about the photos you saw of the drift car?
It was it could have been really cool if it was here at a drift event.
I did my best.
You know what's cooler than photos? Driving other people's cars.
Actually, you're right.
I don't have a car here.
Thanks, Texas Drift Academy.
I can't talk any trash. I don't even have a car here. I'm driving Scott's car.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, at least your face is on it and your freaking stickers on it, so you have
my
the
car
excuse.
this week.
It's my car this week.
I did this one. I fixed that car.
I fixed that car. Anyway, everybody, go follow Danger Dan. This will let you know. So here's the deal. We didn't make it. But inevitably, the car was so much safer, so much better off, and in the long run, it wasn't set up for failure. This was the most amount of progress we made on this car in like 6 years. And it was finally coming into fruition that this car was special. It wasn't the basket case project that had plagued me for years anymore. It was now more of a strategic thing to figure out how do we make this car better, how do we make it safe, and how do we make it work. And sometimes that's all you can ask for is progress. Sometimes we don't make it to the end of the tunnel at the time we want to make it at the end of the tunnel. But once again, progress is progress, man. Sometimes you gotta lean into it and just be proud of the close people around you that were there to help you and genuinely wanted to see you succeed. And I have to thank Alan and a whole bunch of other people for that and this experience and having my back. As for Import Alliance, I ended up just having a good time with Danger Dan and the boys. And I said, you know what? I'll get them next time.
So given the time that we, were working with to get the car done, I wouldn't say David really lacked any excitement. I know he was excited about getting it done, but I also know that, man, this car's been running him through the ringer, just people a part of the build prior, just not really putting in the effort that was necessary in order to allow this car to be what it is. You have people you trust and believe in. The one person that you did trust and believe in ends up leaving, so it's like, oh, okay, that sucks, but oh, they're gonna continue the build, but oh, now the car is not being touched, but oh, now 3 years later it's still not finished, but oh, now Alan's got it. And it's just like, I get it, you know, you can only put off so much excitement towards something that runs your emotions through it. Emotional damage, you know, it's a lot to deal with, you know, emotionally, to try to stay excited and just stay positive when you keep running after problem after problem after problem after problem, especially when you thought you already crossed the bridge of that problem. It's like, oh, hey, you know that problem that we just resolved? Yeah, that's not quite resolved. We need to actually step back over that bridge and start over again. And it's just, it kind of with your emotions, you know. It's like, damn, like, is this thing gonna be done or is it not?
It's June now. We didn't make him for the Lions.
No.
But that's okay. It was all for the right reasons at the same time. I've been traveling everywhere, and you've kind of been coming up with a whole bunch of different solutions to make the car way better anyway. So
Yeah.
Can you break down the wiring stuff we've done in the past 2 months?
So basically, when we got the car, it was all kind of wired off the factory body harness. Our biggest thing, especially with the platform in the car and its purpose, is to kind of simplify a lot of things. We had just connectors to things that aren't even affiliated with the motor combination and the dash and everything that we currently have in the car. So the biggest thing for us is just kind of eliminate all the possibilities of the error by just simplifying the harness. We added a bunch of Deutsch connectors and stuff like that to basically make the harness be removable out of the chassis in case, God forbid, something happens to it.
So in other words, if something were to happen to this car, I'm not saying that it will, hopefully, we could basically remove everything, plug and play, essentially.
Throw it all back in a new car.
Rather than, oh God, we have to cut things, we have to resolder things, we have to redo all these things. James knows all about that.
I do.
That's right. How's your RX-7 going?
So we're in one year, 4 engines later,
Sounds about right.
3 rotaries and an LS. So life is great.
This motor wants to hit.
This clearance right here.
Yeah.
Because this was probably the toughest clearance of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And by doing that relocation, it gave you the clearance.
Yeah, and we were able to go up further with the trans, which was able to pitch the motor a little bit more forward, which just kind of helped everything. It kind of helped getting the gearbox further up into the car to where it wasn't so close to the ground.
Also, the steering column was mounted crooked by somewhere else as well. So basically,
Yeah,
it was gonna hit my knee in mid-drift.
the steering column was actually pointed towards the driver door panel, which kind of, you'd be steering like this, more or less, holding the steering wheel.
But we had to get our buddy Cole to fabricate to fix it.
Well, we had to refabricate it because it was fabricated incorrectly. While building the car, there was a lot of obstructions in the way, one being the driver's side manifold. And this driver's side manifold, believe it or not, haunted this car for 3 years until we ended up finding a solution for it. In the previous place this shop was at, they ran a Woodward column, which is a great solution for clearance issues on cars that you know, you're running big engines, you have some obstructions. It allows you to kind of navigate the column in areas that allow it to work and allow it to be beneficial. However, it has to be mounted correctly. And we ran into some issues where the column was unfortunately a bit modified more than what we'd like to work with. It wasn't pointing towards the driver 100%. It was pointing towards the driver door. But we're here, and all we can do at this point is just make it right. So Cole at Mountain Man Fabrication ended up creating a really awesome steering bar that was supposed to be in there to begin with. We were able to redirect the steering column and the area it was supposed to be towards the driver, dead center, to where it is right in front of you. There's no turns, there's no leaning this way or leaning that way. it's straight ahead and allows you to actually perform in the car the way you need to be.
We were doing our seating position about 2 months ago. We tried to put the Sparkos in, and I was like, Alan, something doesn't feel right. Like, it just wasn't quite there. And then I was like, oh, the steering wheel's hitting my knee every time we adjust the seat. It didn't matter, so that's what we had to do. Another thing, Alan, you cleaned up the headlights.
I did.
These notoriously wear out,
Yeah,
and they get all uneven
Not,
right
like,
here.
super perfect, but I love that OEM paint line that these have.
Yeah, so
And after a while,
Nissan
they just-
factory basically had a
Right.
paint line right here. Because typically you'd have the whole cover right here. And then we got the clear side markers.
Yeah, she looks like she had a stroke, but
Yeah,
we're
we're fixing it.
We're gonna line all this back up. Added a lot of heat resistant material just on the floor to keep a lot of the heat out of the cabin as David's drifting, just so it's not just heat soaking
Yeah,
inside
into
of the
the
car.
floorboard.
You know, DEI wrap and stuff like that, just to kind of keep those things safe from all the heat that's going to be coming down up underneath the vehicle. So the fuel system, we went all the way back to the factory tank. Eventually we're gonna get into a surge pot to stop the fuel from sloshing out the factory tank. But as far as the lines were concerned, before we had the factory lines ran down this side and then bent over and then bent up and then bent down and then bent back up into the firewall. And the biggest problem was that it kind of hovered above the exhaust when it wide over here. It literally was like almost an inch away from it. Not only that, that's not the biggest concerning part. The biggest concerning part that it was hard line with stainless steel line and pressure clamps attached to the hard line. Guys, I can't express it enough. Do not put pressure clamps or worm clamps on stainless steel hose on a hard line. It doesn't hold. It's not going to work. It'll get you home, but it's not going to put you on the track. It's so dangerous. We ended up actually pulling one of the hoses off of the line by hand, just like,
Yep.
didn't even loosen it. It literally just pulled straight off. They weren't even barbed.
So while I was doing all this, I was also planning my first ever drift event that I was going to run at a local track. So that is the next video where you will see me you'll see me learn the ways and the art form of running a drift event or a race event. And then afterwards, you will also see the final prep of this car to go on its maiden voyage at a drift event. And it was my own drift event called Cosmic Drift. And you'll have to stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys all stopping by to watch this series. What do you guys think about the Coyote 240 SX? I'd love to hear it down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.